Hello everyone, today we're going to learn how to make a friendship bracelet. It's a really good fun activity for people to do, and they get something that they can either wear themselves or they can give to a friend at the end, and they will make one of those. You can see that. So a form of weaving, and I haven't got a finished one because they do take quite a long time to make, probably 3 hours. It takes quite a while. So this is what I'm slowly chipping away at while I'm teaching it in my forest school sessions with primary forest school. So here we go. First thing we need to do is to make one of these, which is the template, the star. It's called a star weaver. You can buy wooden ones, or you can make a wooden one, or you can use some fairly thick cardboard to make one. Now the card I have here is a bit thin. Could use a little bit thicker than that, because ideally when you're holding it you don't want it to bend and flex too much. It should be fairly rigid. So you may not have a template for making this, so I'm going to show you how to make one. I'm going to use a glass, which is quite a big glass. It's, I don't know, some 6 or 7 centimetres across there. And I'm going to put that on top of my piece of cardboard and draw around it with a pen. Now, as an adult, you don't need to do this. If your children are good at this kind of thing, or around about, I don't know, 11 or perhaps so years old, they should be able to do this themselves with a bit of time and effort. So make the circle round and you put a point in the middle. That's the middle of your circle. And I'm going to divide the circle up into initially 4, like this. And then I'm going to divide my 4 segments up again equally to make 8 points on my circle. So you could include maths in this if you wanted to, if you wanted to teach something about fractions at this point, or you can just have it as a bit of fun, doesn't really matter. So then what we're going to do is you notice on my template that I've already made here, there's troughs here, and there's also peaks, hills and valleys. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to make my peak is always at the top of my point, and the valley is in between the two. And I'm going to go around and I'm going to draw that out. Now again, this does not need to be perfect, as long as it works. It's what we're after, something that works. So I'm going to go around like that, all the way around, making my valleys and my troughs. Troughs in between the points, all the way around, and like that. And now I'm going to cut it out. So I'm just going to get a nice sharp pair of scissors and cut round all the way around the valleys and the troughs like that to make the template. And you can see how that works. So now once I've gone all the way around, I'm then going to make cuts in between the valleys and the troughs. So the cuts, are always in the valleys like that. And they should be no more than about, we'll say, 1/2 centimetre. So if you imagined I'd cut that out, and then each one I'm just going to cut in around no more than 1 centimetre in. It doesn't have to be very deep. All the way around, and I do that in my 8 valleys all the way around. And it ends up looking something like that. And then I need to make my hole in the middle. For this, my card was fairly thin, and I just stuck a pen through there to make the hole in the middle. The next stage, once you have your template made, is to cut out your wool. Now you cut your wool into lengths. I don't know how long that is. It's almost 1 metre long. Depends how long you want your bracelet to be, really. If you wanted to make a necklace, make it even longer. It's around about that long. Cut out 7 pieces of wool. Lay them out on the table, make sure they're all about the same length. And then in the end of these pieces of wool, you need to tie a knot. So you tie a knot in there, and you could knot it twice to make a nice big, and that's just a basic overhand knot, like a start of a shoelace, and make a loop and put it through to end up with a knot in the end of your 7 pieces of wool. The next stage, get your pen, poke your wool through the hole like that. Make sure that's really clear to you. So what I do is I just put my wool in half like that, and then poke it through the gap there, through the hole, and put it through. Now the knot gets caught, because I didn't make my hole too big. Knot gets caught on that side and the wool all comes through. There we are. Looks like a comet or a jellyfish or something. It's already a work of art. And then I'm going to put a length of wool from the top into each of the cuts that we made in the valleys all the way around the template. You can see how that works. It's really straightforward, so just go in all the way around like that. Easy. 6th one goes in, number 7. There it is. That is your template made, set up, ready to go. Knot in the bottom and the wool coming down like this from the underside. So, what we do next, notice there's one without a piece in. It isn't because haven't made enough wool. This is how it's meant. This is how it works. So, I take one out and I put it in. I turn my template anti-clockwise and take the next one out and put it in the gap. And the next one, the orange one, comes out and goes in the gap. So this teaches consistency. So you can just sit there. It could be a wet afternoon in front of a film, or you could be sitting around a fire and telling stories, or you could even do it when you're out and about. Just stick it in your pocket on a car journey, and eventually it starts to grow. This is the beauty of it. So you keep going around all the way like this. Really, really important thing is that every now and then that you comb down the wool like that. And if you forget to do that, you end up with a pickle and a knot down in here. So every, say, 2 or 3 times you move your wool into your space, you make sure that you comb your wool down to make sure there's no tangles in there. Now I've done that 5 or 6 times, but there's nothing much there yet inside. It takes quite a long time, but eventually you start to get a friendship bracelet miraculously growing out of the bottom of your template, out of your star weaver. And there we are. That's how we make a friendship bracelet, everybody.